All right, are we going live? We are live. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing right now? I hope you guys are having an excellent day today. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about, which I'm really looking forward to, is what do I say? Why is making decisions a challenge for us? What is it about moving forward in life that we feel like we got the shackles and the chain and the doubts and the fears and everything? Why is that so hard for us? We're going to be talking about that today. I'm just updating the details here in the live stream for our YouTube. I'll tell you really quick that it has been quite a long day today. And for whatever reason, my link there is probably not working. I'll have to check that out. So stay tuned. I may need to make a quick adjustment here in the link or in the YouTube, but for now, everything's there. But the topic for today is the challenges of moving forward, and I'll get into that here in a second. We've had overwhelming responses to our 21-day program, and yesterday I said I think we were right around 12 or 11 spots, and we're now at about 9 or so, 9 or 8, somewhere in there. So we're getting a lot of interest. I can tell you right now, if I look at my calendar for tomorrow, we have for tomorrow, the 7th. Is it the 7th of, oh, you know what? This did not update. Oh, bummer. My schedule is not updating. Go to the phone. Tomorrow, I know for sure that I have at least 6 orientations scheduled. We've got quite a run tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. In fact, I've actually started to limit spaces for our 21-day program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have about 9 or 10 people we're talking to. So we're talking about this 21-day program that we have could be running out pretty fast. So if you guys are looking for a free program that you can get started, something that's going to assist you in the next 21 days and is going to move you forward into the holidays with confidence in addressing your fitness, your nutrition, your accountability goals, then you might be at the right spot. Of course, we need to have the conversation to make sure this program is right for you. But ultimately, what our focus here at Project Fresh is to assist you in addressing the challenges that are going on right now and also set you up for the long-term success. So that means addressing habits. That means addressing lifestyle. That means addressing mindsets, mentalities, the limiting beliefs and thoughts that keep us from having the success that we deserve. And hey, don't if for whatever reason, if you find yourself in a position where it's like this is not for you, and maybe you're coming up against some of those limiting beliefs for whatever reason, you might be in that cycle of lack of success, that cycle of seeing success in your goals. And this is going to be what we're going to be talking about, the challenges of moving forward. Don't beat yourself up. I want to encourage you to love on yourself. I want to encourage you to get around people who are going to love on you. Get into a group of folks who are going to support you in those challenges. Sometimes it's just with ourselves. Sometimes it's with relationships. Sometimes it's with work and the money. There's a lot of different factors that can play into preventing you from moving forward. And so I just want to stop and encourage you in that. And not only that, but let you know that you're not alone. And I'll just share a quick story with you about myself. There's been a couple of times where I've had an excellent opportunity to move forward. And I just, for whatever reason, like 2015, I was in extreme depression. I had just gotten a level up in my job, and I found myself being absolutely depressed. And what brought me out of that was getting connected to my mentor, Phil. I've been with him for 5 years now as my mentor, a brother in Christ, a trainer of 30 years, a husband of over 10 years. And at that time, I wasn't looking to get married. I ended up shifting in that and getting married at the end of 2016. But having someone who I could walk with in those hard times and get remotivated, that season where I started studying for my personal training certification again, started looking at the aspects of doing this with having a full-time job at the time. So I was working insane hours, like I was working a minimum 70 hours a week, and I'd be in the office until 9 or 10 o'clock on Friday nights. I felt like I had no life other than work. The pleasures and joys of my life were going to Chipotle to get a burrito bowl or a double wrapped burrito, and that was literally like the majority of my life. On weekends, I was indoors, just watching TV, or mostly it was movies. I'm a movie guy. I'm a movie guy, not so much a TV guy. But I would just sit in my room all day and all night and maybe get outside, maybe not, if I didn't have anybody to hang out with. Just completely and totally depressed, probably clinically depressed. I never really went to go see a physician about it, but what helped me pull out of that was pursuing my faith. I left that out. That's really important. What you believe in, your core values, I think is very important. And getting back into those, or reassessing and changing your perspective, was really helpful. But I got with Phil on a regular basis, and I shared with him my heart and my challenges. And I was able to be in a place and space where I received love, received understanding, and started to feel kind of normal again, like a human being, not like I was in my own place and it was only me who was experiencing what I was experiencing. And that allowed me to get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more excitement. And moving into 2016, I got back to doing my Spartan races. I had done a couple back in 2013, 2014, and it reinvigorated me. I ended up running about 10 Spartan races in the course of a year or so. Got my business model launched. I met my girlfriend at the time, now wife. Just a lot of different things happened. And that might sound like a fairy tale story, but I just started really focusing on what can I change in front of me? How can I be the best version of myself? And one of the areas that really helped me, other than staying up with my brother Phil, was fitness and nutrition. Something about being connected to other people. I was involved in a very large company based out of Santa Monica, California, just south of us here in the Bay Area. And we had some events that were really fun. I got connected with other guys and gals who were having similar challenges to me, who were living in that scenario of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me. And then having that shift. It's like, this is for me and I'm going to do this no matter what it takes. That, you know what, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to do my very best to give it my best shot. And along the way, maybe I won't get all the results or all the things that I want, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to progress and I'm going to learn some things from some other people that I hadn't learned before. I can tell you this: my wife and I have invested a lot. Not all of the investments have gone well. There's some investments, some business opportunities that we got into that were poor, terrible. I got a few clients involved. It sucked. It was miserable, and I had people spending $500 on some of this stuff. It was just terrible. Um, Not everything is going to go well. And I'm not by any means saying go spend money and not do your due diligence on the program. By all means, I strongly encourage that. In fact, me getting into that deal it was miserable, and so that has taught me to maybe be patient and wait a little bit longer, do some more assessment on different plans, and I think that goes for all of us. But at the end of the day, getting into more coaching and finding out exactly where I needed to be and having someone who was willing to be on that journey with me made all the difference. Even if I wouldn't have decided to do this, having someone who was there with me along that journey who I could share my challenges with. And, there's something about sharing with a stranger, and I didn't really know Phil at the time. We've gotten to know each other much better now. But when we started talking, I didn't know him outside of church, actually. I knew just a little bit about him. I met his wife a couple times, seen him at a few of the men's groups that we met at, but I really didn't know him. So it was nice, like when the conversation was over, when the interaction was over, I didn't necessarily have to be accountable for what I shared in the environment with which I was experiencing them. So, share with your boss that, like, I'm tired of your crap. You may not have your job the next day, or like if your parents or your siblings or someone are really, really, causing some issues for you, or whatever relationship that's near and dear close to you, and you share those feelings with them, that might unfortunately make the relationship not go well, right? And so having someone who's not emotionally connected but who is in that caring position can play all the difference and make all the difference and really open you up to some possibilities for building momentum and having the success that you desire to have. So, with that being said, why do we find ourselves being stuck in a position of not being able to move? And I think a lot of it has to deal with being afraid that when we step out and take the chance, oh, it's going to fail us. I was in a cycle of failure quite a lot. Um, I can only tell you how many times I felt like I was banging my head against the wall. Prior to the job that I was in 2015, I was in another job. Prior to that was my starter job, my entry level job out of Northwestern University, where I went to school and graduated with my civil engineering degree for structural. I was looking at doing structural design for skyscrapers, and then that transition to actually being hands on and being out in the job sites and being a part of the teams. I did not get that opportunity in my first job, although I made it abundantly clear to my employer that that's what I wanted to do. They connected me with the supervisors that they did, and these guys were telling me stuff like, shut up and just listen to what I say. Another guy was telling me that his, you know, entry level recovery statistic was 7 for 7, like all the entry level guys who were having challenges and gals. He was the saving guy, and he was 7 for 7. He's like, don't mess up my record. Well, uh, I don't know how many months later, uh, I have the feeling that he was really he was intimidated by me. And I would only say that because he would say stuff like, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. Why are you in an industry like this? And in my mind, I would think that, well, if I'm so smart and so intelligent, why don't you guys train me and utilize me to be the best effective individual in this line of work? Well, they decided to fire me for no absolute reason. If I was in that position now, probably they would be having a lot of HR related issues, but that's another story for another day. What was difficult was is that first job didn't go well, and I came out of that completely frustrated, jobless, driving an hour back home. I was literally driving 1 hour each way every day. I had just moved to a location closer to work, which means new rent, new responsibilities, and now I don't have a job. And I could just remember breaking down in tears and literally crying while I was driving because it was partly because there was that dissatisfaction of not being successful in something I had given so much of my life to, because in that job I was working tons of hours. But there was also this sense of freedom, like a big weight, rather, not a monkey, a big weight had just gotten off my back. And I didn't want to share with my parents. I didn't actually tell them for about a week because I wanted to figure things out for myself. Um, but I eventually told them. And in that 2 month period, I started this journey. I started coaching. I started learning fitness and nutrition for myself again. Well, I had already done so previously in my job that I had just lost, as well as in college, 2011, 2012. So I knew that journey, but there was an opportunity that came with that particular company that I mentioned that allowed me to start learning this idea of coaching. And it was amazing to see the process of coaching. And I did that full time and I started building in success in that company. And then I let this idea take over in my mind. And my parents were like, why would you not want to go back to work? In fact, I had a company reach out to me. I decided to do an interview because I just wasn't sure. And they offered me the job, and I told them, well, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you. And I talked to my parents, and they're like, are you crazy? Like, I remember my parents literally asking me, am I crazy for not getting a job? And I felt like, no, I don't think so. I want to really challenge myself. I want to grow. I want to be in a position of growth. And it's funny looking back on the story. Every time I look back, I think about what would have happened if I would have decided to keep working with the coaching and growing and had that pressure and had that heat, that fire constantly driving me to grow. I always wonder what that would look like, but ultimately took the job, worked with that company from 2014 until we left, or till I left in 2016, which was my official last day and also the official start of project fresh where we were doing this full time versus part time. And all I can tell you is in the last 4 years, I've been extremely grateful for walking away from a full time job and pursuing the life of being a coach and an entrepreneur. And it has been a blessing. Now, that required me stepping out of my comfort zone. That required me making investments in my time, my energy, my focus, my personal and spiritual and mental development. Entrepreneurial lifestyle is not for everyone, and it's made a lot of other challenges. I started this full time. The next month, I got married. So, any of you men out there that might relate with me, having work and having wife, and knowing that you're now the main lead on providing for the family and that responsibility, that was quite a new challenge in my life. And we had a lot of learning, to say the very least. If you're married and have gone through those challenges, you know what I'm talking about. So it has been a blessing because it has caused me to grow. It has caused me to challenge. I've kept finding myself hitting hurdles, walls, and challenges throughout these last 4 years. We'll be celebrating our fourth anniversary next month, full time, 4 years. And if you're a client of ours, stay tuned. I'm about to send you some details on our full year 12-month plan. We've got a great special that we're doing for all of our current clients. And so you'll be seeing that here soon. I'm really excited about it. But long story short, what was I going to say? Long story short, I shared this story with you because I wanted to give you an example of what adversity looks like. And there are those seasons where you do stay in that kind of sick circle and cycle of not having the results. And the risk is that there might be more challenges to come, bigger ones than what you're currently dealing with now, that could be mitigated if you made the shift. However, I want people to know that if it's not your season to change, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. And I know that's a should. I don't like to should people. That sounds weird. I don't like to should on people. What I wanted to say and do is encourage you to make the best of the season that you're in and the season of change. Um, and the reason why I don't think why we don't move forward, is because there's just something that we haven't learned yet that hasn't made that shift for us. For like, I know that this is exactly where I'm at for what I want to do with the rest of my life. I know that I was designed to assist people to live a substantially greater, or what do I say, more, live a lifestyle by design, not by default. I believe that each and every one of us has a purpose in life. I think that we were all created to accomplish something. There's a vocation, there's a way in which we relate with people, there's a vision, there's a nonprofit. There's something in us that was designed for us specifically, and that's what makes us unique, that we were designed to give to the world, or to our community, or our family, or whatever scale and scope that would bring to lives. But there are things that we got to learn. There are things that got to work that out of us to be able to start to bring those seeds out, if you will. We wanted to use an agricultural example. We get those seeds out of us and then get it into the soil. And then that season requires learning how to cultivate. So there'll be challenges and scenarios that come that, require you to bang your head against the wall and figure everything out, and then cultivate that ground. And then you get the sprout, and it comes out of the seed, and you start to grow. So a new season of growth and leveling up. And then the season changes, and the stock stops growing, so to speak. And so there's a waiting season, there's a winter, and then summer comes and it grows some more. And maybe the first piece of fruit, and you're excited and you're able to consume the fruit and even maybe start to share it. And then you got a pruning season. You got to learn how to prune the stalk, or this whatever you're growing, and so on and so forth. We can keep that going, but I think you get what I mean. So I think a lot of times we get stuck, we get guilty, we feel ashamed. We're like, I should be better. I should be in a better place than I am now. And instead of us, the one person that I think matters the most, people outside of us at the end of the day, I don't think really matter as far as what they say about us, how they feel about us. I mean, your close relatives, I think it does have its impact. Please don't get me wrong there. I think in relationship it's very important. But ultimately, what we think about ourselves is what's going to ultimately drive us to do what we do. As a man thinks in his as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. As you think goes into how it contracts, or how it does contracts, how it is in the heart, which creates the actions, which produces the results, right? So kind of that four-step process. And that ultimately starts up here. Now, you can take other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and make it your own, but ultimately you decide what you choose to think about, how you feel, and which directly relates to what you do, right? And that over time, that lifestyle becomes the fruit of your actions. And I think we just allow ourselves to be stuck, knowing that we maybe there's some things that need to be addressed that haven't, and then on top of that, we've got game and guilt and shame, and we should ourselves to death, and then we find ourselves stuck, or we just don't feel like we have enough to take that leap of faith. And all I can do is encourage you guys to be here and let you know that we've got products and services that we're going to do our very best to make as economic as possible. In this case, with our raffle, we've got the 30-minute consultation call. The medium package is our spooky and spicy package for Halloween themed October. So that we've got our spice pumpkin latte for you fanatics out there. It's on the way. I'll show it to you when it gets here so we can start showing it off a little bit. We've got our fitness package that goes with that, where we're going to add to it. And then we also have an accountability component so that you can have the best success possible in our medium package. And then our overall package, our large package, our premier program is our 6-week transformation program. We're into transformations here. That's transformation of the mind so that the body will follow suit. And I want to repeat that again. Transformation of the mind so the body will follow suit. So that means learning. That means learning how to be accountable to self and accountable to others. That means learning how to lead self and potentially lead others, because you're going to need a team. I usually, when I tell people that if they're going to do a program on their own, there's a few different things they need. A fitness plan, moving your body on a regular basis, eating food correctly, primarily how much you eat first, and then you talk about the quality of it, and then an accountability team. And I would strongly suggest that if you're going to hit your goals, you need at least three people, and that's not yourself, to be accountable to. It could be a spouse or someone in your family. And even if it's a kid, it can be fun. It's like, hey, you want to work out with your son or daughter, or maybe a brother or sister, parent, perhaps, whoever, on these days. That's accountability. A friend, and maybe someone in a group that you frequent regularly. And hopefully you're still getting in groups despite sheltered in place. We have to do everything online right now. But I would strongly suggest 3 people, and here's the reason why. When you tell people your goals, and not specifically your goals, but that you're going to do something, I'm on this fitness plan and I'm looking to make a serious change, people are going to remember that. And the next time they see you, they're going to ask, so how's that fitness and nutrition plan going that you were telling me about? Accountability built in, just like that. And I would say that if there was anything I was going to share with you guys today, is to, if you're ready to go, do those 3 things. If you're not ready to go, from this call, from this live stream today, go tell someone that you've accepted where you're at. The season is not easy for you, but you know that it's all right, that it's okay. And you're going to tell them that I am going to do my very best every day, one day at a time, to no longer shame or guilt myself or should myself. I should be, I should be, I should be. Because now the occupation of your focus is on what you should be, and that's what you'll give all of your energy to. And that is just a small snowball that turns into a massive avalanche. The more energy you give to it, or excuse me, the more focus you give to it, the more that big snowball grows and grows and grows, and the harder it is to stop it. Unfortunately, when motivation comes into play, as I was talking about yesterday, we've got 2 options. We can either be inspired to move. Well, actually, I was saying this way. We can be moved and motivated by situation, heart attacks or hypertension or overweight, inflammation, obesity, the top main reasons why we check out earlier than we should. Those top 3 categories roughly. Anything to do with inflammation of the gut, that would be a situation where that would be situational or the inspiration. I listened to Ryan. I saw a great video. I got some new information that I hadn't learned before. A friend of mine just lost 20 pounds. I saw this great documentation about someone climbing Mount Everest, whatever it may be. You are now in this position of inspired and you move. You act on your action wherever you are again. And that's about usually 1%, 2% of people are willing to right now make a change, make a substantial change that's going to change the directory of their life moving forward. That's a very small number. And that's just based on some numbers that I've seen. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, but 1% of the entire population, there's a lot of us, of over a billion. So we're talking about there's 100 million people. Let's just say 100, 200 million. If there's 7 billion, it would be what, 7 million? Let's just say five. Let's just say there are 5 million. Ooh, yeah. No, let's see, 1%. So 700, no, excuse me, 70 million people right now who are currently ready to make a life change. In fact, in the last, as I mentioned, I've talked to a number of people now. I've met a couple of them who are jumping on with our 21-day program. We're having our orientation call for nutrition with them today and tomorrow and up to Friday, and they're ready to go. Well, they knew that the opportunity that was presented to them was going to provide that shift, was going to provide that change, was going to get them from looking here to looking there. So if you're still looking here, just be aware where your focus goes, your energy flows. Eric Thomas is one of my favorites on saying that. And if you can start to slowly shift over here, and remember, we're a coach, we can assist you with this process. Now your focus and your energy goes over to here. What's my goals? What do I want to see myself look like, feel like, think like, be like the next 21 days, the next 30 days, the next 90 days? And that's one thing that we'll talk about in that 30-minute consultation. We're going to look at your goals. We're going to look at your, your goals, your hurdles, current challenges. And we're also going to set you up with a 30-day plan and a 90-day plan because we're looking to set you up for success, especially during the holidays, because that's where we know the candies, the cakes, Thanksgiving, all the baked goods, all those things that you grew up on that you love. And when you can get tired of all of that, you go and you eat out and you make some more stuff. And then the friends come over and yeah, we're having family still visit each other, even though we're sheltered in place. I know that's happening because everyone's told me. I've seen a few family members myself that we don't live with. So I know it's happening. Obviously, please be safe. We know it's a very real disease, virus in this case. But at the end of the day, it's really the two options that we have. So if you're over here and this is where you're at and you're stuck, please be kind to yourself. Please love on yourself. Please find that perspective that, okay, I'm not where I'm at right now, but I choose to no longer shit on myself. And if you're ready to make that shift and you liked what you've heard with us in that inspiration component, please let us know. Please connect with us. If you've already been on a call with us and you're maybe still trying to figure this thing out, by all means, keep watching, keep checking in. Maybe it's not your season. Maybe in the future it's time for you. That's cool. Like I said, I've had clients and friends who've joined me in businesses who have taken over a year to decide. So I am not going to pressure anybody if it absolutely isn't your time or your season. I get it because I've seen it and I've been there myself. So with that being said, we're about to wrap up today. I just wanted you to know that I really do care about you guys, and that's the reason why I'm going to be here every time, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, checking in with you guys, talking about what I'm finding with clients, what our challenges are, what we're doing in our business, what we're getting ready to do. Our 21-day sign up is cutting off on Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're a current client of mine, prepare for a message or reach out to me and just say, hey, Ryan, you told me about that program you're doing for clients. Tell me more. There's only 10 spots for that once I start marketing, and that'll be tomorrow morning. So with that being said, that's all I got for today. I really, really, really do care about you guys, and I hope that you have a great evening. And we'll be finishing a little bit shorter. I can just sit here and not say something for 30 seconds. But I want you guys to remember too, I'm not just here to talk. This is an interactive live experience to address challenges, talk about goals. I provide this for people who may not be able to afford our programming. We are a business and we are for profit. So there's going to be a position in time where we are going to be doing business, transactional business together. But in the event that that time isn't for you, then you have this avenue an opportunity to just still get to work with us and start making those shifts and changes. So I wanted to make that very clear too. So that being said, this is Ryan with Project Fresh. We've hit our 30-minute mark. It's been a pleasure to connect with you guys again. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.